Off you go, go. Schnell, verpiss dich. Yay. Now, there's an instinct in me wants to run over to see what's happening. And I know that all convention chairmen have this instinct. If I see security people running in any convention, I'll jump up and run after them. No.
Not neighboring.
Recently, there was a convention, a Brony convention, BronyCon, in Baltimore in the US. And they invited the chairman of all conventions that were present, and I was running a table for Anthrocon there, the fan table. They essentially had a luncheon for all of the convention chairs. I thought that was really very nice. It was a meet and greet. I got to talk with the man in charge of Denver Comic-Con. I got to talk to some science fiction convention chairs. We traded stories, we traded ideas, and it was good. And we're about to have another story in a minute. And, at one point, their chairman, his radio, an alarm went off. Beep, 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 beep. And he jumped up and ran out of the room. Everybody in the room jumped up and started. I said, no. Not our fault, not our problem, not our con. Let it go. So, how's Dari this morning? Oh, he's got the smile.
I need more coffee, please.
Just drop it on the floor. So, anything you can talk about?
No, this is too, no.
Oh, no.
Too
See, that's the
soon.
problem. In-process events we can't really talk about. But, I know what we're starting with next year, just from that look. It can't really be that bad because he came back.
Let me give you a hint. If you want to go through a door, you make sure it's open. And what I didn't know is called comics were just bullshit. When you walk through the door, you leave exactly the mark.
Someone ran through a door?
Was it a fursuit?
There are some people where I don't know how they find the door in the morning in the first place.
Maybe they just make their own doors.
Maybe.
Okay, you are learning something that America learned long ago.
What, building doors more sturdy?
If you go to any American building where there is a glass door, there's always a big red dot right here. Why do we make rules? Because we have to. The attendee is American. Yeah, I got nothing.
I remember one puzzle that was. Do you know stuff named J-Loop?
Oh!
Some powder that when you mix it with water, it gets really slippery. It's fun stuff for some people, I think. Do you know those shoes with one wheel in the back where you can flip and roll across?
Yeah. Oh, back there.
Yeah. First, you're just finding it really funny to have that Jacob on their feet and then sliding through the lobby.
Yeah.
And then the chairman running after sliding. The really painful shit is that stuff where you always laugh about that. Like Cheetah throwing chairs at people. That's a story for another time. Oh, I'll never forget the year from 17 or 18. I'm also doing climbing and bringing all that shit in lobbies and back then on the stage. I was hanging under the ceiling, looking down, and Cheetah was going, hi, and there was a broom on the floor. Exactly like in the movie.
You think it only happens in Wile E. Coyote cartoons?
This shit is real. It actually happens, and you're just hanging there, you can't stop laughing. That's so horrible. Like the other day, it was actually this convention, external, not an attendee. Ran into a door, couldn't get the turn and ran against the door frame. And instead of just bouncing off, he bounced off against the other and back forward. It's horrible to laugh at.
And you know you've really fucked up when the medical guy leaning over you is crying because he's laughing so hard. Tell me where it hurts.
We had that a few years ago when somebody came into the light. I need to go to the hospital. I told on the paramedic. Just look at what's up. And the guy leaned over, whispered to the ear. Well, it must be up here now. The problem in my job is your humor gets so black it's still picking cotton somewhere.
You can say that over here. I could be arrested for that where I come from.
Not in Germany.
Yes, Germany, the land of freedom of speech. I love it.
What's the name?
We have about 1 minute. Now,
There's only one thing you can't close this on.
the thing is, if we talk about Midwest Fur Fest, I have yet to find anything funny about it.
Yeah, not everything is funny that happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, there are some things that we want to try to find a way to laugh at, but we can't.
You know, there are 3 things at conventions that can happen that nobody wants, that are our nightmares, like floating fursuiters into water, or people committing suicide in the rooms. It happens.
Yeah.
You never want it to happen. It's a personal nightmare. And this one is one of them.
You probably know what the news has reported. You probably know what rumors have reported. Midwest Fur Fest this past year in December, I was on stage performing with To the Ranting Griffin. We were doing a charity performance. And I noticed that the doors in the back were open. I noticed a lot of red lights. Not 1 or 2, like a sea of red lights out there. And I leaned over to 2 and I said, what's going on out there? And he said, no. I said, maybe we should cut this short. I said, okay, thank you all very much, wonderful, yeah, great, thank you, we're leaving now. And I walked out. There had to be 40 ambulances, more fire trucks than I've ever seen, police cars going off into infinity. And that is when the alarm went off. Okay? Usually when the alarm goes off, I think, okay, is this a stupid prank or something? And this time I got out quick. So we got out, and there were a lot of rumors flying. And, well, then we saw people being carried out and put into ambulances, 19 of them in all. Okay, this is something I'm not going to be able to make a joke about anytime soon. I did see one of the news cameras had cornered a staff member and was trying to get information out of him. Everybody says, Uncle Kage is always trying to be a news whore. He always wants to be on the news. No, I wanted to be on the news before this guy said anything. Because I'm trained in this. I was basically, hi, excuse me. Hi, let me do no comment, blah, blah, blah. I downplayed it, told him nobody knows what's going on. Talk to that guy over there. He'll tell you what's going on. He looked like this. Well, what had happened was somebody had constructed a device that, basically, I guess you'd call it a bomb. And this bomb was a chemical bomb that produced a large amount of chlorine gas. They had detonated it in the fire stairwell of the hotel. And it, of course, filled the hotel with this very noxious fumes. The alarm was pulled to get people out, and of course, when people want to leave the hotel, they go to the fire stairwell. That's why we had 19 casualties. Despite rumors, they have not yet found out who did this. But when they do, this person is going to be in a buttload of trouble. My personal feeling about this, the news is saying, this was a chlorine attack, this was a terrorist attack, this was a deliberate, yeah, it was deliberate, but I think it was some 16-year-old pisshead who found a recipe online and thought he would create a little havoc. and wasn't smart enough to realize he was going to hurt people. This is the take-home lesson. If anybody out there wants to screw with the convention, you do that, yeah, 80% of the time we'll get a funny story out of it, but sometimes someone's going to get hurt, so don't do it. But after a story like that, I'm going to throw one last one in just to I don't want to leave with that one. A lot of folk here might know my dear and sainted mother.
Yeah.
She's not here this year, sadly. My father is not well, so she's staying home with him. But years ago, the very first time I was in charge of Anthrocon, I went down to monitor the art show. Now, at art convention, we separate the artwork that you can show to everyone from the artwork that you do not want to show to everyone. We put that over there. Different conventions in the States call it different things. One convention calls it the private art show. Anthrocon, we call it the mature art gallery. Midwest Fur Fest calls it the cock box. But that's Chicago for you. I poked my nose into Anthrocon's mature art gallery to make sure there was no one in there who shouldn't be in there. And what did I see but my little old mother? And I was like, yeah, no, nine, else. She's like, no, I want to look at the art. Leave me alone, leave me alone. And she's looking around and following it. No, don't look at that. Don't. Oh. And she's just looking at the art, and I was horrified. And she said to me, why do they make the penises so small? Talk to my father about those jeans. All right, we's out of time. You need to get back to work.
We all need to go.
What?
Yep. It's a group photo shooting down there.
Oh, go shoot the photo.
We would like to interrupt.